So one of my white housemates, soon to be an ex-housemate, because we're going to get evicted, because I highly doubt they're going to come through with that money, for rent owed, called me dangerous. And the context in which I was called dangerous was that the property manager was like, y'all need to just like pay the rent that's owed. And I'm like, I'm not paying nothing because I don't owe it. I've been paying my rent on time, except for like 1 month out of 2 years. If the others don't agree, the other two remaining housemates, that person moved out and abandoned the property. Well, actually, another housemate that is still in there also stopped paying rent for whatever reason. I don't know what the discussion is behind that. I was like, I'll move back in and pay what's owed, and also pay the utility that the housemate that abandoned the property flaked out on, if the other two agree to move out. Turns out this dude has been called the other housemate, the other white housemate that's been paying rent. Turns out he's been trying to set up this narrative that I'm dangerous when he has done nothing but agitate me to the point of where I felt insecure with my safety in being in contact with him. And the only way I know he's been calling me dangerous is because he called me dangerous on the platform in which we all talk to each other. I have him blocked on everything else. So he said that like it's impossible for them to find a new housemate as long as I'm on the lease because I'm a dangerous person. And I'm like, you're the reason why we got into the situation, because you didn't tell us one of the people had moved out while you are also still fucking living there. And another person's not paying rent. So we don't even know what the fuck is going on with that. And that person isn't answering the property manager's messages. So I don't know what about me is dangerous? Also, I've been gone since early March. And you've been living in the house comfortably, turning it into a fucking like biohazard ass mess. But I'm the one who's dangerous? What the fuck? It's that white rationale of black person hurt my feelings, black person dangerous. And there's a whole lot of context behind that. But like calling somebody who has not been at the house, who has not even been in physical proximity for the most part of since early March, and we are now about to be in June as of this recording, dangerous, is like, no, that's some shit you invented. So I did go ahead and call him out on like his racial aggression. Like, calling me dangerous is just shy of calling me a slur. We all understand why. So, the reason why it's like really stupid, aside from racism just being stupid, the reason why this whole situation is stupid is because we're getting evicted. Like, I doubt the others are going to come through with the money that is owed by the deadline before the eviction triggers, but we've started the process at the 30-day notice of like, pay the money or you get evicted. And the reason why this is happening is because the other two don't want to move out because they want me to move out and get off the lease. And I was like, hey, I'll move back in. I'll pay the rent that's owed and I'll pay the utility that's owed from the person who abandoned the property if the other two agree to move out. The other two could have just moved out. And then the burden of paying off the debt would be on me. And they wouldn't have an eviction on their record. But instead, being able to racially aggress against a black person was more important to them. Because had they moved out, it would have been way more work for me. Because I was willing to do all this other labor. Pay the debt, find 3 new housemates, and pay the utility that got abandoned. And they still haven't even paid the utility that has the abandoned housemate's name on it. The gas is cut off now. And they're still living there. As far as I know, as of this recording, they're still in there. I have since left. So this isn't affecting me. Also, the property manager didn't get my ID and social security number, so the eviction's not going on my record. Like, there's so much about this that's not hurting me that would have made so much more sense for them to move out. And they know this. I've told them at least twice that I didn't do the background check. Can you guess that means that the eviction's not going on my record because they don't have my ID and social security number? Like clearly the whiteness meant more to them. Because, well, a reasonable person, if reasonable people were involved, none of this would be happening. But, like, if there were any, like, last scraps of a sense of self-preservation type reasonable, they'd be like, well, they would just evaluate the situation. Well, you can stay and you can do all this work and we can go and, like, we might have to figure out a new living situation real quick or, like, put our stuff in storage and couch surf for a little bit, but we won't have an eviction on our record, which will make it easier for us to find a new place. So really, you would be taking the brunt of the consequences if this shit fell apart and you didn't, like, fulfill your obligations, but at that point it wouldn't be our problem. That's what a smart person would do. That's what I would have done. But I can take more risks because none of this is going to be on my background. I was willing to risk getting into even more debt, depending on how long it took me to find new housemates, paying off the debt that's already accrued, and paying the utility, figuring all that out with the help of community. But they were like, nah, we gotta keep our tornado house and racially microaggress against you. The master race, y'all.